Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy. Hopefully you guys had a great week. Ours was very busy, which is why I haven't put out really any videos, just trying to get stuff done. And actually I took yesterday to learn a little bit more in detail variation listings. I haven't really done too many. I've done some in the past, but they're really the advanced version of eBay. If you can get your variation listings down, there's pretty much nothing else to learn on the platform. So just trying to get that to where I'm actually taking an item I would have normally sold for 150 bucks, but now with the variation listing, I'm going to make like 10x that possibly. And I really don't want to go too further into what I'm doing, but if you step outside of the box with eBay, there's so many opportunities that you might have that you might not normally have. But that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is the change that you guys may have remember we discussed, I'd say must be 5 or 6 months ago, if not longer than that, where Jamie Iannone came out and said, hey, if you've been left a negative feedback, don't worry. There's 12 scenarios where we're going to come in and step in on your behalf. All you got to do is fill out the feedback removal tool. And I got me a sale. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. But the feedback removal tool, and you're going to be able to get those negatives and neutrals removed. So that is something I want to talk about today, because eBay has come out and said on the 28th of October, which was after our live on Monday, I believe. They came out and said, actually it was on Monday, I just missed it. We are going to start removing these negatives and neutrals, whereas I was under the impression, based on the verbiage and how they said it early in the spring, that they were going to start then. So they're going to start removing these negatives and neutrals. And I just wanted to go over the policy with you, because I haven't really gone over it myself. I thought it would be a pretty good opportunity to kind of cover the information to see what the changes that they've made here. So this is new updates for enhanced protections. So the latest policy updates will remove negative or neutral feedbacks in more situations. Now, this is the October seller update. And what you need to know, we recently shared that we've been working to update our feedback policy to extend more situations where removing feedback is warranted. We're happy to let you know that we're revising our policy, or we've revised our policy, and will now remove feedback that sellers may receive in situations that don't follow these updated policy guidelines. For clarity, we've updated our feedback policy page. So what's changing? We'll now remove negative or neutral feedback in the following cases. When a buyer asks to cancel an order after placing it and the seller denies the request. For eBay policy, sellers have the discretion to accept or deny a cancellation request. For example, if a buyer purchases a set of golf balls, they don't sell them in sets, by the way, but they sell them in packs, I guess, but then requests to cancel their order because they found a cheaper set elsewhere. The seller declines the request and the buyer responds by posting a negative feedback. Since the seller is not obliged to accept cancellation requests, the feedback is removable. When a buyer changes their mind, here's another example. When a buyer changes their mind about the purchase and references being charged for the cost of an eBay return label. For example, buyer purchases a bracelet, and after receiving it, they decide it doesn't suit their style and want to return the bracelet. When they realize there'll be a charge for the eBay return label, they leave a negative feedback about it. Since there were no other issues with the transaction and the buyer's comment is only about having to pay for eBay return shipping labels, the feedback is removable. And it goes on to say, to learn more, it goes on, this next change is about ship cover, which we aren't going to talk about right now. Now, where I'd like to go briefly is to the next page here, which is the feedback policy. Just to kind of gloss over this, when do we remove feedback? So this is their policy. Content promoting hatred. So this is what if your buyer was ever to leave any of this type of verbiage within the feedback itself. So content promoting hatred, violence, or discrimination, profane, obscene, adult, illegal, or explicit content, opinions on any political, religious, or social issues, implied or explicit threats or intimidation, personally identifiable information, links, URLs, that type of thing, infringement of third-party rights, meaningless content or images that aren't of the item purchased. Now that's interesting because I have a neutral that someone left with just a check mark. I don't know what that's meaningless to me. Comments intended for a different item or seller, negative comments with positive ratings or positive comments with negative ratings, and personal attacks that could harm the reputation of the seller or their business and could not reasonably be viewed as constructive criticism. Any pictures left in feedback should accurately represent the item purchased and follow our policies. Extortion, manipulation, buyer-related transaction issues. So we'll remove negative feedback when we can see that the buyer asked to cancel. The order was canceled due to an issue with the address. Order was canceled because the buyer didn't pay. Buyer is raising an issue that was correctly disclosed in the listing. The buyer has been auctioned. The buyer has been actioned under our abusive buyer policy, and the buyer requested a change to an order they paid, and their feedback relates to this. So another one, item delivery issues. We remove negative feedback when the buyer is referencing a delivery issue. Tracking shows us that the delivery or handling time expectations were met. A delivery issue where a natural disaster or unexpected event caused the delay, or a customs or tax issue outside the seller's control. Return issues, they'll remove for if the item was returned due to a damaged or seller deducted an amount from the refund. The seller declined a change of mind return request as the listing didn't offer returns. The buyer changed their mind and was liable for the cost of the eBay return label. And the seller offers free returns, handled the return, and issued a refund. Here's another one, eBay site or program issues. We remove negative or neutral feedback when the comment is about not being able to retract the bid. Another one, the problem was caused by a technical issue. eBay money-back guarantee cause or payment dispute was closed with the seller having met their obligations to the buyer. The item was shipped on time with eBay International Shipping, and there was a shipping-related issue. The item was sold under Authenticity Guaranteed Program and was shipped on time and passed authentication. And the last one was the item was sold under our Guaranteed Fit Program. Buyer requested a return because the item didn't fit their vehicle, and we could see that the seller met all their obligations. So this seems to be something that is more involved. They didn't have all there's more than like 12 here, but they were talking about there being 12 instances where they would go in and fix this feedback for you. So I am going to test this later on today with the one with the check mark. Now, look, we can debate. We could sit up here and say how important negative feedback or neutral feedbacks are to your account. Are they huge to your account? Are they going to really hurt your sales? I don't really think so. But I am of the belief that people do look at your negative feedbacks. They do see, wow, this guy's got a 97. It's a red flag, 97%. Why aren't they 100%? So then they start looking and they start making an assessment of you. And I got to tell you, if you're selling an item that's $5, that customer is going to be different than someone who's buying a $500 item. I think someone's going to put in a little bit more time to see that they're dealing with someone that's going to deliver. It's like $5. I really don't care. So we could debate on that, but at the end of the day, I really think, and if you watched Ebert's discussion with us on the Profit Playbook podcast this last weekend, he did make mention that, hey, negative feedback may not seem like a big deal, but it is up there. And that's why eBay maintains it and they keep it no matter how bad the sellers really want to do away with it. I think there is something to it, and we really need to do our best to try to defend our accounts, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to come out and try to, fight for you. If you get an unwarranted negative feedback, you can blow it off and just move on, or you can take 5 minutes and submit and I'll show you here real quick. You can submit a request to have that removed. Now, the way you do it is you simply type in negative feedback removal under the help and contact link. And then you'll get a little bubble here that says request to remove feedback. You click on that, make the case as to why, and try to refer to this policy. If it touches on something here that we talked about, the policy we went over, then that is the way to handle it. And now I guess we're all going to find out if eBay is owning up to what they actually have now, not what they're saying, which is what we had before, but now what they have in writing. I think that's a little bit different. So maybe they weren't ready to implement it when we were talking about it, but the proof is in the pudding. Now we have something to stand on and to point to when we're actually asking for a removal. So, well, we have 25,000 subs, 25,002 subs. So thank you guys for making all that possible. And you're supposed to be controlling the...
Well, then give it back to me.
You took it away from me and you won't let me have it back. So what do you guys think about that?
You can do it.
Mm-hmm. We did it. We're only a quarter of the way to our goal. My goal is to get to 100,000. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Someone told me that, based on the type of content that I put out, it's probably not going to ever happen. I just, and I don't want to put myself in a bubble where it can't happen. I mean, I think that's the worst mindset. But if we're being real about it, unless I'm willing to strap on my GoPro and walk around yard sales and stuff, which I know you guys aren't into, and I'm not really all that into myself. It's fun once in a while, but it's not my cup of tea. I'd rather get out here, show you what I'm doing, talk about policies and stuff like that. And I really believe that's kind of what you guys are tuned into this channel for. There's other channels that do what I described, looking at yard sales and stuff. But once in a while, maybe, we'll do something fun when it comes to sourcing. But I don't want it to be, what makes up this channel. I want this to be really a community of resellers that watch because they want to learn reselling content, not just from me, but from each other in the chat and the guests that we bring on. Now, speaking of guests, I've tentatively worked out that we're going to have a guest on Monday's live, and it's going to be Ebert. So if you guys don't know, he is a UK former director of eBay, I believe the advertising department, as recent as 2019. And he's a reseller himself. So all the while he was working, he was also reselling and trying to learn from other departments. And a lot of the insights that he has is eye-opening. A lot of things that we thought maybe were happening, maybe not happening. And also tomorrow, we're going to have on the Profit Playbook podcast, we're going to have James from the Great Reseller Life, formerly known as the Boring Reseller Life channel on YouTube. And we had a really good discussion with him. So make sure you're tuned in for that. So who do we have here today with us? We have Shannon Greenlaw. I've watched all the videos from the members only so far. Just wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to be MIA for a bit as my sleep disorder is about to start what I call my sleep week. Well, Jenna can relate to that.
Don't start with me. Do not start.
I think I'm going to call it her sleep week when she's like, honey, I know I just got up a couple hours ago, but I'm going to go take a nap. I'm like, okay.
I don't ever say that.
Well, no, but that's what I kind of read into it. Shannon says, but I always put my eBay on 15-day time away and stop sending offers 48 hours prior. Happens like a cycle every month. I'll be sure to catch up on post lives and tune in as soon as I'm up and running. Just want to let you know you didn't think I died. LOL.
Oh, no.
Well, even if you're watching after the fact, we do read the comments that you put in. There's quite a few people that can't make the lives that watch after the fact that comment. So if you're one of those people, please let us know you're there and comment. You did send an email, and it was a question about using time away. So if you're going to be unavailable or gone, using the time away option does work. As an example, Mike Camparelli came out here for 2 weeks. He had it on time away. He had 31 sales for the 2 weeks that he was gone. And every one of them, he emailed the buyer to let them know as a reminder, hey, not returning until this date. Just want to let you know that it's not going to be mailed out. Now, of course, eBay gives the range based on that already, but just a reminder to the buyer. And in every one of those cases, the buyer was cool with it. And I think that's an example of where you can give good customer service, be proactive, engage with your buyers. Don't be afraid to engage with your buyers. Look for opportunities to engage with your buyers. Most of these people are good people. Most of these people are going to be cool with, hey, just to let you know, I'm mailing this tomorrow, not today, or whatever it is. And I think they appreciate it. They appreciate the interaction because now they can put a person with the interaction rather than it's just an unknown entity when they're just buying a random item without any kind of interaction. So that worked for Mike, and I'm sure it can work for anyone who's going to be maybe going for the holidays to somebody's house and not going to be there with your business. And while I have not used Time Away myself, I was able to watch what Mike was dealing with, and his sales really didn't drop off a whole lot, maybe a little bit, 20-25%. I'm sure eBay is not going to overwhelm you. I'm sure they're going to throttle you down a little bit. But if you're worried about not being able to handle your orders for whatever reason, certainly it's an option to use. And I sent her an email to kind of give her that information just in case she wasn't able to make this live. Pitco is second, and it says, hello, John and Jen and the whole FAE family. Well, Keith, nice to see you. We got Beard. Beard checked in. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Moistness. Pitco says, Scott, you going to live after the show or still not streaming? And he's not sure, might flip a coin. So he's on the fence.
He doesn't love us anymore, guys. He's too busy for us. He doesn't even reply back to me in the comments when I say nice things about him.
Let me just say this. I think there's so we talked about this off camera, the three of us, and talking about YouTube and stuff. And you know what? There's so many good people that watch the channel. There's so many good people that subscribe. There's so many good people that are there. We hit the live button to go live, and it's like you guys are there. There's so many of you, but unfortunately, the negative people that have something, just they watch the whole video, they watch the live, so much good information or good conversation, and all they have to glean from that is something negative, and they just want to say something for what, I don't know why. It's not going to make a difference about what's being said, but it can really cause creators to just not want to get in front of the camera. Well, and it's easier said than done. Don't worry about what the trolls say. Don't worry about what this person might say. But it's really, when you're already having a bad day for some reason, maybe you're not really feeling it, and then you read a comment that really puts you down, it does have an effect on you. I don't care who you are. Maybe some people are they deal with it easier than others, but I really think that, if you're out there and you're out there to troll, guys, just know this, think twice about that, because it's really if you enjoy the channels that you're watching, think twice about what you're commenting. That's all I'll say. And maybe you won't see some of these creators drop off. Hopefully Beard goes on later, but admittedly, because the conversation's so good, I really don't get a whole lot done on Friday nights. So we'll see what he does. Keith says, I pick up heads, so make sure you use double-sided head coin. Andy says, what's going on, FA family? Nice to see you from Indiana. Mike, he was out here for 2 weeks with us, says, hi, John and Jenna and FA family. After returning home to 39 orders to pack over the 2 weeks, I pulled an all-nighter Wednesday. I was glad to get back to normal. 4 went out today. How's everyone doing?
Nice.
See, that's a good problem to come home to, right?
Yeah.
And sales are out there, guys. I just think that we just need to look at our account as the base of everything we do. If we're not protecting our account, if we're not representing our brand by, being in front of whatever situation or even on a sale to thank the buyer for their purchase, I think it's an extra step. It might seem unnecessary, but in the end, I think it's going to do your account a lot of good. Andy Reno says, don't forget to hit your like for the sale. Yes, hit that like button for the sale within the next 24 hours, because when you do, you're going to get a sale within the next 24 hours, or you get your money back that you spent to hit that like button. Let's see. You got Andy says, "Hey Mike, good to hear they keep keeping you busy." Yes. Lots of good sales. Mike says, "This was my best store performance while away. Brought a bunch of drafts with me, listed a lot of what I sourced in Vegas, and did end sell similar throughout." W poked well? I don't want to know about that. I don't know what that means. Charlie McBride says, "The eBay that forgot Christmas." Well, let's hope eBay remembers Christmas this year.
Yeah.
Mike says, "Wasn't expecting anyone from out of the country to come. Really, maybe my next meetup will be on the other side of the pond."
Now that
would be
fun.
Yes, that would be awesome. So you got to get out here, Keith. Would be good for an international reseller meetup. That would be something, wouldn't it? I think it would be awesome. You know, I don't mind setting something up if you guys collectively want to say, hey, you know, we have the boss seller remix in March, and hey, if you guys want to come out for something like that, and you know, maybe meet up one day, have lunch, and go to the bins or something, and just hang out as a group, I'm all for it. That'd be fun. Shannon says, "Hi Mike, glad you made it home safe. I live in PA and have never left the East Coast, nor do I care to." Shannon also says, "I have a 2-month FAE live playing while having tonight's live open on MacBook, FAE TV all day here." That's so awesome, Shannon.
Oh, thanks, Shannon.
You know, it's just hard to wrap my head around how people will choose to just watch our channel. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I look at things, but there's so much to watch on YouTube, and think that you guys would just rather watch what we have going on is like awesome. I'll just put it that way. Mike says, "Actually, I did $32 on this is on the Whatnot. I think we did the Whatnot on Monday night, by the way. He did about $32, but I more wanted the experience of doing it and learning the process. Now that I'm home with my full inventory and a little knowledge, I will do more. It was fun." Yeah. And look, it's not that big of a deal. You know, you're talking, you're showing the item, and you're pretty much selling the basics of whatever item that you're showing. For us, it was clothing, and I think we did like around $200, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, thanks to you guys for supporting. You know, that's the thing. I really do think that there is an unfair advantage, if you want to call it that, for creators, YouTube creators who jump on YouTube, Whatnot like that, that have a YouTube presence. You know, I see it, you know, but what am I going to do about it? Tell people, well, don't show up because, you know, I want to level the playing field. Of course, we want as many people as we can on our Whatnots, and then we try to raid others like Mike's and Archie's. But we had some pretty good clothing items. We sold pretty much every piece except we didn't sell we had a Betty Boop pair of, I call them britches.
He wanted those to sell so bad.
I picked those up in the bins, and I'm like,
don't know
people
why.
like Betty Boop.
No.
Like, what the hell was I thinking? Yeah, it was stupid. You know, so it's like, all right, we couldn't even give those things away, but it is what it is. Speaking of giveaways, we have something to give away.
Me?
Well, not you. I mean, unless you want to get the hell out of here, we'll give you away.
You know, some days.
No, but which one did you keep? The shirt.
Oh, I have to go get it.
Okay, can you? So here's what happened. I went on to Pete's district last Thursday, and he had a bunch of different items that he was auctioning off on his site. And I thought, you know what? I want to show my friends some support. So I went on there and I bought some police badges. Thought they're cool. Like $10 is what I bought them for. They'll probably sell for like $5 a piece plus shipping. Not a real big thing, but they're so easy to list. And since I have experience selling patches, I thought, you know what? It'd be kind of a cool thing. And so he gets my order and he sends me, and I requested 2 stickers because he said, if you want a sticker. So I sent him a text saying, yes, please send me a sticker with my order. He was kind enough to send us some shirts, and he sent a medium. Okay, this is a medium, Craigslist Hunter, and I went and made arrangements to get a bigger shirt because he sent me an XL. She took the XL, and because I ain't fitting in no XL, I'm just past that at this point in my life.
I could do a medium, but not up here.
So little bit later, I want to give away. It's a medium, so maybe if you know somebody or if you're that size, then this is something for you. If I can get it here. So it's Craigslist Hunter, Crystal Lake, Illinois. And I already told them I'm going to give away one of the shirts. So that I think would be kind of a cool thing to do at the end of the show or near the end of the show is to do a giveaway. And the fact that you guys are here with us, I think it would be awesome to do that. And I would love to do it. So stay tuned a little bit. We'll go ahead and before we leave, we'll do the giveaway. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's even on point with that.
I'm stuck. Hold on.
Are you okay?
No.
Oh, gee. We're trying to run a show here.
I know, but I'm wrapped up in this.
Ryan Lab says, as a seller, I don't want to. As a buyer, I should.
Okay.
Yeah, you should.
You got to read this.
What did I miss? Okay. Debating if I should leave a seller negative or not right now. I've left a seller a negative one time. And you guys, I think, know about this. It happened last year. I bought that paper tape machine, and this person represented it as working and complete. And they shipped it with, and I kid you not, one packing peanut. Not two, but one packing peanut. And really not, I think, one strand. It was nothing of bubble wrap. And the thing was rattling inside the box. It was missing key components of the unit, so it was not even usable. And they really were kind of deflecting. Whenever I sent them a message, they were kind of putting it back on me, like it was kind of my fault. But no, we opened a return and they waited until the last minute. I think eBay stepped in on their behalf. So they ended up getting a defect, but it was just such bad service, just the way they treated me. And I'm like, man, I couldn't dream of having a transaction this bad.
Weren't they in Las Vegas too?
I think they were. I think they were in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So come on. It was just a bad overall transaction.
Their account they're not a regular reseller. They didn't have a lot of they didn't have a lot to their account at all, like feedback and items for sale and things like that. It was a very, I have this thing, I came across it, it's sitting in my garage, I gotta get rid of it.
Yeah, I had no intention of leaving a negative, but just the nastiness from that person, the snarkiness. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, look, if I let this slide, I mean, they're just going to keep treating people badly, and it was just a bad experience. And I really try not to leave. And I hate leaving a negative feedback for sellers because we are all in this together. But at the end of the day, if you have bad apples on the platform that's treating our buyers like this on every transaction, these are buyers who you and I are never going to see because chances are they're never going to come back to the platform. It's already bad enough that, I'm like, I don't shop on eBay unless it's something I can't find on Amazon or something like that, because I've had bad experiences with these sellers and I just don't want to. I'm like a lot of people. Look, you burn me enough times, I won't come back. And the only reason why I come back at all is because I sell on the platform. Let's see. Brenda says, happy Friday, everyone. Nice to see you.
Happy Friday.
And we have Maya's with us. Hello, Maya. Ryan Labs, I'd consider how many negatives you've left in the past, if any. A lot of sellers, including me, check buyers' feedback left for others. Some sellers will block buyers if they've even left one negative. But there's, I think you have this breaking point as a buyer. So I can tolerate so much, right? I can tolerate lack of communication. I've had that many times before. I can tolerate things not working. I can tolerate, mistakes. I can't tolerate all of them in one transaction. I can't tolerate and nastiness when you do get back to me, like somehow it's my fault, like I packed it for you or I shipped it, saying that, oh, there's no way it came in that condition. Are you trying to say that the post office unpacked it, left one packing peanut and, shipped it to me? No, I mean, it's just when you make excuses and, try to BS me, that's kind of the worst thing. So all those things combined, yeah, I'm going to leave some feedback, but I don't like to do it. That's for sure. It's not something that gets me excited or anything like that. Maya says also, if you don't have separate buyer seller accounts, it's possible they could try to buy something from you and leave a negative. Yeah. So we do have a buyer's account that we use to buy stuff. Like I'll buy stuff on my main account and my secondary with the coupons. We get the monthly, the quarterly coupons for having a store. So we buy the boxes. Of course, you have to buy within those accounts to get the coupons. But other than that, I'll go to my other account, my buyer's account, and I'll just buy from there. And so that's one thing to keep in mind there. Mike says, yes, Keith, I'll let you know when I do my next show. By the way, thanks for the tip. That was very nice of you, but not necessary though. So yes, you can tip on the Whatnot channels or the Whatnot auctions. Mike got a tip. Archie got a tip. I didn't get a tip, but I'm not worried about it because we had a good time and we sold our stuff.
Yeah,
that was really cool. No, I'm like,
hey,
is that even a thing? I didn't even realize. I didn't realize that was a thing until like, yeah, we got a tip. I'm like, you can tip on Whatnot?
Well, we got tips on the last show.
Oh,
it's not something. I mean, unless you're trying to support somebody and you're not able to, for whatever reason, whatever they're selling is not useful for you, but you still want to support them. So, I mean, it's here nor there. I mean, I think it's a nice gesture.
Josh Galt says, hello, John, Jen, and everyone. Hope you all are well. Listing away over here and tidying up. It's so important. That's one of the things.
Josh
I think
has been absent from YouTube.
Yeah. It's just, sometimes it's just not fun. It's you get that enough is enough when you encounter too many negative things. That's, it just.
But is that allowing them to win? Like, they're not going to be quiet.
Okay. But is that your only motivation to make a video, is so that someone doesn't?
No, I mean, your motivation is to motivate others, not encourage the haters. But, I just don't think that, I think that bowing out is more like, okay, you got me.
And you got to consider why are we doing these things? So it's like, it's certainly not for the money. I'll tell you that right now.
There's always going to be bad apples. Always.
I could do a video every day, I guess, if I was trying to really churn out videos the way I like to churn out product. But every time I make a video, you're looking at an hour at the minimum that's lost. I mean, we're not talking about lives, just talking about the videos, because of the fact that we have to edit and upload it and do this and that with YouTube and thumbnail. And there's a lot of work that goes on into it. And yes, there's an enjoyment of it. But I got to tell you, with the limited time that life gives me to get these items listed, and just I'm focused right now with, and I don't know if it's going to make a difference with my account, how focused I get with Q4. I think it's just a regular quarter for me, but I'm really focused to try to do as much as I can with the products that we have. And unfortunately, YouTube kind of takes a little bit of the back burner, and that sucks, because I know there's members out there who want the content and want to get members only content out there, and I'm going to do what I can. And we have the distractions that come into town. Sorry, Mike, you're my buddy, but you fall into that.
You call people that.
It's for the fun. I call family and friends distractions, because that is actually what it is. It is.
It may be, but it's just rude.
But it's what it is. They're distractions, and they keep you away.
So that people don't want to come.
No, I love that they're here. It's like we had a good time every time we went somewhere. It was great, right? But in reality, that takes you away from the business. Glenda says, happy Friday, John and Jenna, plus all the great FA family. Are all of you full Halloween candy? I haven't had one piece.
Neither have I. We
went last night to dinner and a movie, right? And there's a new movie by Tom Hanks called Here that came out, because she doesn't like horror movies. So that's like almost 90% of the movies were like Halloween horror movies. So we had a choice between a love story and this new movie that came out Thursday that was supposed to come out today called Here. Well, without spoiling anything for you, about an hour in, we left the theater.
Absolutely horrible.
Worst Tom Hanks movie I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Absolutely horrible.
Save your money. Don't even waste your time.
I mean, I'm like, do you want to leave? And she didn't give me an answer. And like 15 minutes later,
I was trying to give it some time. Maybe something's going to happen. No, we were an hour in, and I'm like, dude, this is the same picture that we were looking at when the movie started. And it's just, no.
It's like no plot development at all. It's just weird.
It was like staring at paint dry.
Shannon says, I'm sure I'm following you all on Whatnot from FAE's last live. I'm new there. My username is Little Message 88 or MSG or MG88. I'll check out the show sometime.
Yeah, I think didn't you
some squeakiness in my voice here.
I think she bought something from us.
Oh, okay. I think so.
She won.
Joseph Mars says, Happy November, all you FAE folks. Can you guys believe it's November 1st already?
No.
That's insane. And don't forget, guys, I don't care who you like and who you want to win. Get out there and vote this week if you can.
Travis Matthew.
Oh yeah,
Polo.
she bought the Travis Matthew Polo.
To those of you that have ordered or won the items on Whatnot, have you guys gotten your orders yet? Any of you? Because it just tells me pending.
It's probably too soon. Because we're here on Friday. You mailed them out on Monday. Interesting. Yeah. You have to go to the seller. I think the seller hub that's in Whatnot to.
I am in there, and that's what it's telling me.
Brenda, so USPS now has a holiday surcharge on their flat rate priority boxes until January. Found out the $10.40 box is now $11. So keep that in mind, everyone. We don't use the flat rate stuff anymore, and that seems kind of.
I did use a priority box today and flipped it inside out.
Can't do that.
Yes, I did.
You're not supposed to you did it, but you're not supposed to do that.
And I covered it with paper tape.
You're not supposed to do that.
You know what? I didn't have another box.
Well, you Frankenbox one.
That's exactly what I did.
Okay, well, why don't we just break out the cereal boxes while we're at it?
No. It looks extremely.
Yes, but you're not supposed to do that. That is against the law to do that.
They can go
but
suck it.
I'm just to put it on record, I ain't for that. So we ain't doing that again. So that's not how you do it.
I'm the shipper.
But you know what? It's
if we don't have the proper boxes, then and you're not going to order them, then I'm going to use what I got.
will order them.
Do you understand?
Here's the thing. I could take a 16 by 12 by 8 box and turn it into an 18 by 10 by 8 box. And it's very easy to do. All you have to do is go and take the box and you score each side by the same width from the fold point, and then it'll bend to whatever you want it to. You can make boxes. You don't need to flip around a USPS box. So that's not good. I'm not happy about that. Julie Henley says, Happy Friday. See, this is where we get into an argument over a box. I'm sure you guys will side with me on that. Julie Henley says, Happy Friday. Thanks for being here, Julie. Maya says, yeah, I noticed a surcharge on the flat rate envelopes too. When will it end? January. Unfortunately. Duncan's hit the like and 35 crickets arrived. Pitco says, yeah, they have raised postage costs in the UK too. Oh, of course, they're going to take advantage of the fact that it's a holiday, right? Ryan Labs, seller sent in SurePost in a USPS large flat rate. Amazing was not postage due. Well, it goes back to you guys saw what happened to us earlier this year, where we had someone returned an 8-ounce item, right? And they sent us a box of trash, like a 5-pound box of trash. Then they used the same label to return a tire. And they kept sending things with the same label. It's like they're not looking. The USPS isn't like FedEx, where FedEx is if you're an ounce over, you get charged like the surcharge. In many cases, not in all, but in many cases, USPS just they let it slide. They don't they're just not looking. Callie Debs is with us. Thanks for being here. Solve the Solutions says, happy ship your order in a moist pizza box day. That sounds like something Jovial would come up with, but that is one way to get a negative feedback, I'm sure. Spam's with us. Aloha family or FAE family. Samantha Hunter says, good evening, John. Jenna had a good weekend. How was Halloween? It's one of my least favorite holidays. And you know what? This is the third year in a row where we did not stay home, right? And of according to our Ring camera, one person knocked on the door they rang the doorbell at like 9:00 at night. And guess who it was? It was probably someone in their mid-30s dressed up as a cat with no kids with them.
None. There were no kids.
This is a lady with a hoodie with ears on it.
She was wearing one of those pajama onesie
and
cat outfits.
Yeah, she rang the doorbell and she seemed disgusted at the fact nobody was going to answer her to give her candy bar. No kids.
Meanwhile,
not a single kid.
We're in the movie theater and I'm looking at the Ring on my phone and I'm just watching, and she's trying to look in the window, and I'm like, dude, you don't make me walk out of this theater and start talking on that thing.
Yeah, it was like really sad. I'm like, where's the kids at? I mean, you do this for the kids. I can't remember when I was a kid, Halloween trick-or-treating, many adults at all, unless they're like with the kids, but they'd like let the kids walk up to the door and they'd stand back. And then as an adult, you'd look through the candy to make sure that there's no razor blades or needles in it, right? That was the excuse that we used. And of course, we would steal like 10% of the candy without the kids knowing, right? That was our tax on the candy. But now you got adults going out with adults or by themselves and with no kids. It's really sad, actually. Yeah. Midnight Merchant, happy flipping Friday, y'all. Thanks for being here. Josh says, so can I get all those 3 negatives removed from the buyer canceled orders? You should be able to. Now, go in, because they're now supposed to have a human reviewing these things, not AI. So go in to each one of those and, spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get them all done. And if within 8 hours, they're supposed to give you an answer, right? If they come back, I know, Josh, you don't want to take the time to do this, but you have a speakerphone on your phone. They come back and deny those requests, and they're legit based on the examples we covered at the beginning of the show. Then you would call, ask for the dispute department, and they'll transfer to this. In most cases, transfer you over to the dispute department, and then you make your case that, hey, and they have an actual process for this. You're allowed to do that, to dispute the decision that was made. And if you point to the policy that has been violated, they should take it off. And, do all this on speakerphone while you're working, and it shouldn't really cause you any loss of time. Flipping from the Trailer says, good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. Flipping from the Trailer. Hope things are good, and I believe in Florida, where you're at. Maya says, Ryan Labs, this is just me, so I'm not trying to tell you what to do. And real quick, before I read, guys, this is what we do this for. We get together on Mondays and Fridays, and we try to help each other out, right? So don't be afraid to give opinions, as long as it's done in a constructive way, and we're trying to do it to help somebody or help give people understanding as to what best practices maybe you follow that has worked well for you, then that is what this whole thing is about. So with that said, Maya says, if I get an item in the wrong box like that, but I wasn't charged extra and the item wasn't damaged, I just roll my eyes and move on. Now, if it was damaged, that's a whole different story. But otherwise, I don't try to get in pissing contests with sellers. And I don't either. One thing that it just drives me nuts. If a seller buys from you, right? And a lot of times we have no idea who's buying from us. We just sell the item and, ship it and move on. If they buy an item from you and then they give you a negative or neutral feedback without making any attempt to reach out to you, seller to seller, saying, hey, you sent me this, just to let us know, give the seller a chance to make it right. Now, if you want to, as a seller, offer a partial refund, or maybe you made a mistake and the buyer is pointing out to you, hey, you forgot this accessory that you advertised, or you advertised it and one wasn't included, or the thing came damaged. They're showing pictures, right? I always like to get proof from somebody or ask them to prove it. If they're doing all that and they're making an attempt to reach out to you and they're not trying to shake you down. I'm not saying give in to shakedown artists. What I'm saying is, if they've reached out to you in good faith to let you know there was a problem with their order, which is what we want them to do, they shouldn't be, unless you're just a total jerk to them, they should never leave you negative feedback or even a neutral, if you've worked with them. And I've seen this happen so many times where buyers would buy something and like one didn't come with the cable, and there's a misunderstanding on that. They left me a negative feedback and they sell themselves. It's like, how would you like someone to do this to you and not even send you a message and reach out? So, and certainly don't get into pissing contests with sellers or buyers for that matter. Try to be as professional as you can. It's going to go a long way. Even if you feel a certain way and feel like, I don't have nothing nice to say to this guy, still be as nice as you can. Maybe type out the meanest, nastiest message you can. This is what they used to train us to do. If you deal with someone who's just someone that's just hard to deal with, or they make you feel a certain kind of way, type up the nastiest email you can, get that out of your system, backspace it all out, delete it out, and then go back in and type a professional email. You get it out of your system and then come back and be professional. Samantha says, hi, FAE viewers. Nice to see you. Josh says, do we have to pay an 8% feedback removal fee? Don't give them ideas. I'll just say that. Don't give them ideas for sure. Ryan Lab says, this one, 6U. I'm not sure what that is. The 40-year-old gamer says, the sweet sound of the cha-ching. Yes. Gotta love that sound. Peter Kornichuk says, do you think eBay will differentiate between feedback left by new buyer accounts versus long-term accounts? It doesn't matter to them. Whether it's a zero feedback buyer or someone that's been with eBay for many, many years, it's all about two things. eBay is going to look at two things. They're going to look at what was said in the feedback. So if what was said in the feedback doesn't touch on the things that we covered, then eBay is probably going to let it stand. Now, if it's questionable, they're going to look at the DSR, the detailed seller ratings. Did they leave you a 1 on any of the 4 detailed seller ratings? If they left you a 1, this is what they told me. This is one thing they consider. If they left you a 1 star out of 5 on any of like the accuracy or the speed of ship, and I'm not sure what the other ones are, communication, then they're more than likely going to make that stand. So just be careful with that. Peter says, more in terms of negative and neutral feedback. Yeah, I don't care about positive. I don't care what they say in a positive. But like, for instance, they left me a neutral with a check mark. Well, what does that mean? It doesn't make sense to me. It's almost like a positive in a negative situation.
I gotta go make sure this.
Okay.
It's not a regular guy.
Oh, okay. So our FedEx guys here outside. Diamond Roy says, bonjour all. Thanks for being here, Diamond. Nice to see you. Ryan Lab says, have had sellers use UPS SurePost and USPS flat rate boxes and arrive postage due. Interesting. Now, I'm wondering if that's more so on the UPS side, pressing it, than USPS, because like I said, I mean, you have someone using the same label that's been used over and over again for an 8-ounce package, but it's a 14-pound type. Okay. So package from Amazon. I love it. Ryan Labs, it's amazing it was not postage due. Maya says, I had a weird thing happen with feedback lately. A buyer messaged me saying they didn't receive an item that was delivered. They left me a negative, which I immediately saw, but it was removed in 5 minutes. And they'll remove it very fast. Usually within 8 hours, just depending on the time of the day you put the request in. But you know what? It may seem like it's not worth our time. And I can just see it now. People that are watching after the fact are going to be putting in the comments, it's a waste of time to deal with eBay. They're not on our side. They can't stand sellers. They are against us. But I really don't think eBay really feels that way. Their actions may show us that, but I really don't think that a lot of their practices are well executed, and therefore it just gives a bad impression that they could care less about sellers. Oh, look at this. Let's see real quick. We have Keith is gifted 1 membership, and I'll let Jenna. Okay, well, she's doing her thing, so I will find out for myself. I guess I can scroll down because I want to know who got it. Let's see who got the membership. Who got the gifted membership? Does anybody know? Looks like it's not telling me here. It's not showing me on this chat. It only shows on the YouTube chat. So I'll let Jenna read whoever got the membership. Can you thank Keith for his generosity if you did get it? I think that's really cool that you guys do that kind of thing. And of course, Big Dre. Okay, Big Dre got the membership. So good job with that, Big Dre. We're going to have on Wednesday evening, we're going to have the reseller roundtable. And here's another gift that's rolling in. Can you tell, Sue?
Midwest Picker.
Midwest Picker. So thank you again, Keith, for that. And we're going to have a resellers roundtable for the members on Wednesday. We spend about an hour and we just go into whether you want to share your store and let's talk about your store, best practices, or we just maybe go on and check out different stores that we see on eBay and go over some things that they're doing well and things that they can improve on. So it's certainly a learning experience. I learn something new every time we do it, but would love to make sure that you guys are there. And the crazy thing is we have the member lives. I have no idea how many people are watching. Like right now we have 177 people watching. And, I really don't know if it's 20, 40, or 50 people that are watching these lives when we do for the members, but it's still a fun thing. Jovial's with us. Hey, FA fam. Happy Day of the Dead. Mm-hmm. What do they call that in Spanish? Day of the Dead. I don't know. I'd recognize it when I see it, but
somebody's going to say it in the chat.
Yeah. Let's see. Maya says, I had a weird thing happen with feedback lately. I think I read that one. Solve the Solution says, does the buyer have to specifically mention these scenarios to get it removed? Though that is the question. I would say that you would want to make reference to their own policy. Anytime that I've ever had to dispute something with eBay, I've always pointed to their policy as a violation. So like, let's say a buyer tried to shake me down on a partial refund and I'm like, no, please return the item. I'd rather just, I'm not giving you half your money back because you didn't read that, it didn't come with the remote. I sold it at a cheaper price because it didn't come with the remote. The fact that you didn't read it, now you're mad at me and somehow it's my fault. You want half your money back. No, please send it back. They keep the item. They leave a negative feedback. Well, one of the things that you can say is buyer demanded something not offered in the listing. And that would be, they agree to the terms of the sale, but yet they want to dispute the terms of the sale after the fact. So, always refer to the policy when you can, whenever dealing with eBay, because at the end of the day, you might be dealing with someone who's not all that well versed. And if you remind them they violated eBay policy and here's where they violated it, they might be like, wait, I didn't know that was policy. Let me check. Oh, well, I guess it is. So let me go ahead and approve that. So it's worked more often than not doing that way.
Dias de los Muertos.
Dias de los Muertos. And it's that I can see the logo or the.
Thank you, Peddler's Playground.
Dias de los Muertos.
Yeah.
There it is. I got it right too. See, I can see the faces. Yeah, we'll show that.
November. Hold on.
Huh? I'm going to present it. Oh. Share the screen. There it is right there. So that is the Day of the Dead. I guess what? They went out trick-or-treating and they just had too much candy or what?
It's a tradition. I believe in Mexico, they celebrate the dead.
Interesting. Glenn's Gauntlet
celebration of life
says, hey Beard, I promise I'll hit the like and subscribe. I'm not gonna
be hot.
Try to even figure out what you're trying to say, but we all kind of understand. And Biscuit Butt,
Thank
you,
Ricardo I, Heather W,
wow.
Paul Rose, RM, AZ Cats Sue,
Arizona Cat Sue.
Yeah.
Right.
What did I say?
AZ Cats, but I think that's Arizona Cat Sue.
It is Arizona Cat.
All right. Well, thank you guys thank you, Archie. And thank you guys for being here because I don't know how they assign the memberships. I really think it's based on viewership. So maybe there's something in the algorithm that.
Yeah, it goes in and it picks people who watch watch our content.
Right. So if you did get a membership, check out the member videos that we've made. I do kind of go into more detail about what we are doing rather than share it with the world. You know, it's one thing to share it with 50, 60 people. It's another thing entirely different to share it with 2,000. And, you know, you might glean a few nuggets that, I don't know, I don't want to talk about really, but we do make members only content for those of you guys who I wouldn't want to. And the reason why I do that is because I think that for the masses, there's like, it's a little TMI. You don't really care to know. And I really don't care if you are doing it this way or that way. I just want the information about this policy or whatever it is, where there's others that are like, yeah, I want to know. I'm curious how you do this or that and how you were able to figure this out. And so that's kind of why we do it. Jackie Bleckner's with us. Thanks for being here. Flip It Good says happy Friday. And we have Ping G. Hello, John Jenna in the chat. Happy Friday. Awesome. Nice to see you guys. Keith says, good luck then sticking to that policy. They didn't hear.
They don't hear.
Well, we thought that the policy was kind of going into effect immediately because they didn't really, from what I gather or remember, they didn't set a date. It was more like Jamie Iannone came out and said, yeah, we're going to stop using AI to look at these requests and we're going to have a human work it. And here I am thinking that eBay was somehow quick on the draw. They're going to start doing it immediately. And apparently this is their coming out party for that. So I would say if you have any that, you know, within the last 90 days that, you know, are kind of questionable, why not? Like the one I have with the check mark. Why not? I just want to see if it works for one. It's good to know if I'm dealing with you guys, you know, this has worked for me versus this hasn't. Mm-hmm. But also I don't want those things on my account anyway. Let's see. Maya says eBay Motors people will be happy since they get so many doesn't fit returns. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they get that a lot, unfortunately. Solve the solution sounds like a mess of details where you will still have to fight to convince the customer rep, still going to be a pain in the ass. Depending. Mm-hmm. See, I always look at this as a training issue. So whether you call a rep on the phone or whether you're dealing with someone through chat or through these processes that they've developed, it's all a training issue. So if we all go in and now try to get rid of some of these negative feedbacks or neutral feedbacks and we're getting the same result, then I can tell you they didn't train these people very well before the rollout. Now, if you're dealing with the negative feedback that was warranted, you know, you can't come back and say, well, they screwed me. I put in for a removal and they didn't get, because if it's deserved, whether we think it is or not, they're still going to give you that line. Well, the buyer's allowed their opinion, and there's nothing you can point to that's violating any kind of policy. You just got to eat it. Because I have a few that are like that myself. That there's no way I can't say anything that's going to get eBay to compel them to remove it. As much as I'd like to even mess with that, I'm not going to bother with it. Maya says I think that they're only ones that get more doesn't fit returns than clothing sellers. They are, because they try to make things fit. So yeah. I was going to tell you guys about my OnlyFans. It's a stupid thing. So I guess I'll come clean. I have only one fan, my ceiling fan, that I have up for parts. And what did you think I was talking about?
I really can't.
We sold 3 parts of that set. There's like maybe 12 parts on there. I'm getting $30 a blade on these darn things. I mean, I shouldn't even talk about it, but
we've already sold 3 blades.
3 blades. I got 2 more blades on there. But one guy sent me a message saying, hey, the glass fixture for this fan, I got an older model fan that I can't find one. And, you know, he's like, what's the diameter on this thing? So I'm like thinking to myself, I'm going to measure this stupid thing, and it's not even for his fan, and it might be the same size, but the grooves aren't probably the same. So when it locks in, so I said, look, here's what it is, but I don't even know if this thing's going to fit the fan. If it's not the same model that I'm selling it for, I can't guarantee anything. And watch, this guy's going to buy it because we did sell it. He's going to buy it. He's going to want to open a return under doesn't fit. And if it doesn't fit, I guess that's fine, because doesn't fit, doesn't hurt your metrics, the buyer is going to be on the hook for that return label. I don't offer free returns for this very reason. Basket Noodle says, people don't look at my stuff, feedback or not, I suck. You know what? Basket Noodle, you are probably one of the most, because there's probably someone in here that's smarter than you and I, but you're probably one of the most intelligent people that I've come across that like to frequent the chat or, the comments and stuff. You of all people should have, I think, the intellectual advantage to figure this out. So if things are sucking, I would expect you over anyone else here to figure that out. So get out there and figure it out, because they shouldn't suck for you.
Noodles just messing with you.
I know. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Cha-ching King, how you respond to a negative feedback can make a buyer feel much better about doing business with you. Yeah, I 100% agree. So even if you have a negative feedback or a neutral you don't think is warranted and eBay has shut you down, even after this, go in, leave as professional. I don't care if they said something snarky to you in the negative or about you in the negative. Be as professional and, let the prospective buyers looking at it know that you've reached out to them, you've offered a return, you tried to work with them, they wouldn't work with you or whatever it was, so that they're like, okay, I'd say it's better off responding than not at all, because at least it shows by you responding, it shows that you care. But, and go check out Cha-Ching King. Not a lot of creators do this. He's making a video. I don't know if he's put it out yet. If he did, I apologize. I haven't seen it yet. But it's kind of on a topic I've touched on before in the past. And he was kind enough to reach out saying, hey, I'm going to do this video. And, I just want to make sure you're not stepping on toes. And I'm like, oh, that was unnecessary to do that. But, it just shows you the kind of guy that this guy is, that, he would look at that and reach out and make sure everything's cool. And it is cool, but I think it's really, it shows his character to reach out.
Their integrity.
So go check out Cha-Ching King and one of his newest videos if he hasn't dropped it, but I'm not going to spill the beans as to what it is. Basket Noodles says, actually, all my stuff is rather vertical market nowadays. Okay. See, I'm not smart enough to figure that out. Shannon Greenlaw, I just had a return for a cashmere beanie that is one size and measurement photos were in the listing. Yeah, people, I think most people do read. Most people are like, I'm spending my money and I want to make sure that I don't have any issues. So I'm going to read what the seller has provided me. But we tend to get a lot of those 10 to 20%ers that don't read or don't see the photos. They're quick to buy before they really know what's going on. And those are the people that, we just have to deal with. And it seems like it's more prevalent than that. But if I look back at all the items I've sold and those items got a positive feedback or I've never heard back from them again, as compared to the number of problem buyers that I've had, it's a very, very small number. Maya says, I'm sorry, I don't know if I've ever had such a dumb fit return. Yeah. My Gerda says, hello, watching my Friday movie with my wife earlier tonight, so won't be here, but I did notice that detailed feedback is optional now. You have to click on the drop box to leave 1 to 5 stars. I believe that eBay does have it where if you're trying to leave a negative or a neutral within 7 days of, I believe, receiving the item, that it'll say, please leave a negative after you try to contact the seller, and it's 7 days or something like that. I've seen that before. On my own on my buyer's account. Maya says, actually, I did get one on a bra once where the buyer opened a return saying too small because they got implants.
Oh my God.
I was like, didn't you know about that before you bought it?
Wow. God, people.
I mean, how are you supposed to know? And why would they give you a negative? Because
exactly, that's the whole point. I mean, people are just.
But see here, I kind of blame that on eBay in the fact that their negative feedback is confusing, because it's not so much about the seller, it's about the product. How did you like the product? Was the material this, or was it the quality you expected? And they want the buyer to kind of give a review of the item. And it's not at all, shouldn't be, what you're selling shouldn't be a reflection of you as a seller. unless you're representing something that isn't being delivered. Basket Noodle says next week it'll be we're removing all seller positive feedback as is against your pro seller policies. Todd's in the house. Larry Todd, nice to see you.
Larry Todd, did you get your orders?
Mike says congrats on 25K. 50K just around the corner. Well, thank you, sir. It just seemed like last year we were talking about 20K and things have slowed down. So it's almost like the number of people, I'm almost reaching the maximum number of people that would watch the material that I put out. I don't know, but we're going to keep pushing and trying to get to that 100K. Might take 10 years, but we're going to keep rolling. Andy says, I've watched the show a couple times, so I figured I'd subscribe. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That there's 63 or so % of you that are watching right now that haven't bothered to subscribe. And you can do it. You can do it. It's just a button away, right? You might even get a sale after you've hit the subscribe button. Might even get a few sales because I think that button has a little bit more value than the like button does. But look, I really appreciate it. If you guys do like the channel, why not subscribe and get the content more in your feed? Ryan Labs, if you like doing it, stick with it. You can do it. There it is. KC New York. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. Vicky says, hi, everyone. Congrats, John and Jen on 25K.
Oh, yeah,
thank you. Glenn's Gauntlet says, as a buyer, I will always check negative feedback and see if there's a trend or a one-off. As a seller, it sucks, especially if the buyer doesn't contact you first and could be resolved. Yeah, exactly. And then how about this? They leave you a negative. You reach out to them and then they contact you and it's something that could be easily resolved. And then eBay gives you have to go through this whole thing where you ask the buyer to remove it. You only get so many revision requests per 12 months, right? So now I got to waste the revision request because this guy was quick to the trigger. It's why they give you a limit on revision requests this doesn't make sense to me. Soren Kostashi says, hi, guys. Greeting from UK. We follow you from very far.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. We have a lot of UK viewers, and I don't know if the time slot that we're in is sort of like your late night programming, right? Out here, we have the 11 o'clock slot is usually like your late night comedians, right? After the news. I think it's the news, then the comedians, right? So I'm glad we're able to
call them comedians.
Well, they try to be comedians. So I'm glad we sort of replaced that for a lot of you guys, and
called late night shows.
Maybe we help you fall asleep. So I'm here to to get you in that drowsy mode. Silver hair, John and Jenna suck as resellers. My comp-related stuff arrived a day before John and Jenna from the Whatnot show.
What the hell?
Well, here's why. Well, I don't know that maybe because I know they did their shipping that night. We did ours the next day, but we got it out the next day, the same day that they did. So we did get the carrier scan for the next day. So to hold that against us and leaving us a negative here is like a buyer leaving a negative because they got it.
Like you better take it back, Todd.
Yes, I think so.
Take it back.
Basket Noodle. Then the next week it'll be, we are restoring all positive feedback while we figure out what the hell we're doing. Thank you for being a patient. Yeah, it'll never get to that level, but I understand what you're saying. It should never get that way. Beard says 13 minutes, you're behind, rant over. Well, because I know you're not doing content, so I have to add a little extra time to make up for the lack of content that you're doing. I just feel obligated.
We're missing out on the, I hesitate to call them the greats, but that's just because I'm bitter.
Plus, Josh talked so much on this week's Profit Playbook podcast that I didn't get a chance to really talk a whole lot. So I'm just making up for that on the diatribe here today. Shannon Greenlaw says, I subscribed before I knew you did lives and I've been making it more of a priority to tune in during the live. There's no others I try to keep up with. Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Shannon.
That is totally cool. I know that there's some really good folks out there that do content. And for you to say that is really cool. Thank you. Beard says, Joni's middle name is Nap. She's got a Nap Queen. Is it a hat or a shirt? But it fits perfectly. It's like perfect size and everything. Florida Natural, go play Batman Arkham Knight.
Don't read any more of those.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds like a good game.
They're already gone.
Spam Banshee is so excited for James on PPP. Yes, so James, my boring reselling life, and we try to get in there.
That's not his name anymore.
Well, the great reseller life. You know, like how, you know, like if Coke was to change their name tomorrow, how many of us would say whatever the new name is?
Well, that's just like Twitter and X. Nobody has ever gone away from Twitter.
Yeah, nobody plays Batman, so we'll move on. Silver Hair, spam, right? Gonna be a cool show where James tells us to list 60,000 items or we're all bad. No, it was actually, I think, a lot better than you're originally thinking about. Susan Phelps, hey FA fam, glad to make the live. Thanks to see you. Nice to see you, Susan. Duncan says, I only get negatives on the Roman show. eBay always removes them. And Kenny Miller, 83rd, no relation. We didn't allow him to cut in line, so he was 83rd. Alicia says, kind of want to test seller away, might sell more. I don't know if you're going to sell more. I really think they will maybe throttle you down by 20, 30%, but you're still going to sell. I think a lot of us think that, I think Mike thought this by shutting his store down, that he was going to get, you know, only a handful of sales. And I think he was very, very surprised throughout the 2 weeks. He was on a countdown mode, like, wow, I'm at 10, I'm at 15, I'm at 20. Wow, I'm at 30. I think he sold 38 while he was gone. And that's pretty cool. John Worldwide Weber, hello, everyone. September was my worst month of the year on eBay. October was the best so far. Go figure, right? It's the lighthouse effect, I think, that people kind of talk about. Josh coined that term. And I know that Beard was killing it the last few weeks. And then like this last week, it's kind of stopped for him and Josh. I was having some problems a couple weeks ago, and we're kind of on a normal pace right now. Doing pretty well on both stores. So I don't know. Go figure. Perfectly Blessed is with us, stopping by to say hi. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. Of course, Biscuit Butt, yo, yo, yo. And we have Juan. Nose Addict says, happy Friday. Hope you had a great week.
It just went by so fast. What did we do?
Well, we spent the early part of the week just, you know, visiting with Mike and doing things, doing the Whatnot show. It's just.
Monday was a very busy day.
Yeah. We had the show. We had the live here. We had the barbecue before that with the live here. Then we had the Whatnot show. And it's just like, wow, there's just so much going on. Susan says, dang, I'm late, so a little confused on their feedback update. No worries, I'll watch from the beginning. Okay. It's not a whole lot. Just think about promises they made, or at least they came out like it was this big thing. They were going to make these exceptions to like the 12 things that they were going to remove negative feedback and neutral feedback. And we're like, well, when is it going to happen? Because I went in and I submitted a request and they denied it. So a lot of us were frustrated about that, but it may have been that they announced it a little too soon without setting a date, really without setting any examples. And finally they're implementing it. Silver Hair, my Whatnot order from John and Jenna smells lovely. I bet John didn't pack it.
No, he did not.
Basket Noodle says, oh, well, I have to eat my scrawny chicken dinner.
Oh, scrawny
Nothing
chicken.
wrong with scrawny chicken.
No, nobody likes scrawny chicken. You want it plump. And
that's chicken wings. That's scrawny chicken. Bearded Picker says, I'm listening. Dang, can't win. I listen. I entertain. Now I have to read chat. I'm not that talented. Biscuit Butt says, Larry Todd, Chewy packed it. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He didn't pack it. Susan says, thumbs up and get a sale. Yes. Hit that like button, guys. I appreciate that. Duncan says, spending my Saturday listing very hard to get the memento to start. I can't do it.
You can do it.
Pico, the internet can be a cruel world. Yes, it can be.
Yes, it can be.
SP Thrifts with us says, needs some good juju. Slowest week all year. Running 30% this weekend to try and catch up, but damn.
Wow.
I don't know. I just have a hard time understanding how, like, someone can, like, for instance, I'll use my example, maybe even Beard's example, where, you know, we're just so excited, getting a lot of good sales. We're doing the same thing that's we're used to doing. I think in Beard's case, he was running specific sales on the weekend and stuff like that. and then it just dies, right? You're listing the same kind of stuff. You're doing the same things that's working, and yet you're getting different results. I don't know. It's frustrating, but keep pushing forward. It's that lighthouse. It'll probably leave me and it'll go to you at some point. Nicole Nichols Smith says, my notification said this live wasn't going to start until 10 Eastern. So glad I checked. Why in the world? 10
Eastern.
That is so weird because we set it for 3 p.m. Pacific.
7?
Yeah, it should be 7 o'clock. Well, thanks for being here nonetheless.
That's weird.
Duncan has hit the like for 10 casino for you emails. Jimmy says, results of the Whatnot show. So $210 I think we made in sales. So I think they take 8% or something like that. So it was good. I got to tell you, it was good. I would say we probably made a little bit in profit after you take out, what we paid for the stuff. We picked a lot of this stuff up at yard sales, $1 here, $2 there. And I think the average sale price was maybe like $3. We had one item that sold for about 30 something dollars. I think it was the Golden Knights sweat hoodie that we had. But some we gave away a jersey, but we sold some jerseys and stuff like that. So it was successful. Shannon Greenlaw says, Duncan VR hit the like, get 5 spam phone calls a day for the past month. LMAO. So spam called you? Or did you?
No.
So I can just see her like telling James, you get over the list. I got a bunch of calls to make. Larry Todd, Jimmy D, their show went great because I bought everything. Where would we be on Whatnot without Todd? Thank you for, this goes really unsaid, and I apologize, but you are absolutely awesome when it comes to following channels, right? It's like you're very supportive.
It's very loyal,
very supportive. And I don't say this, I really don't know if I've said it before, but thank you, Todd, for, being who you are and just being there. Even like when Beard does a pop-up live, when he used to, you're right there. And so good for you for being who you are. Thank you.
We love you, Todd.
He's the best hand on YouTube.
Yes, he is.
Duncan says, what date in December do you go in time away for the Christmas period? I assume shipping will be terrible in December per usual. Probably so. I don't go in time away at all. Like when we go to California, I'm setting my my business policies to 5 days. I'm telling the buyer what that does is, instead of saying the eBay is going to give a range of dates from this projected delivery date to that one based on same day handling, they're going to bump it out 5 days, that range of dates. And then what I do, I go in every day, change it to 4 days, then I'll go to 3 days and 2 days, 1 day, and then I'll get to my same day.
Christmas is on a Wednesday this year. That is just BS.
That is. Are we going to California for
Yes.
Christmas? Oh gosh, it's gonna be horrible.
That is. Yeah.
So we're gonna probably do this. So the 22nd is a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably going to be that Friday. I'm going to set it for 5 days. So set it for 5 days, business days. So that'll probably push me out to like Friday. Are we saying that? We're not saying the whole week, are we?
We need that. Well,
see, we're planning we have, I'm glad you guys, or you mentioned this. Glad you mentioned it here because I have no idea how to handle that situation. I really don't want to be gone. We're going to have
to talk about it. I don't want to be gone a whole week, but.
DM Ephemeris says, hello everyone, late but here. My payouts have been good last 3 weeks, but sales up and down daily.
Yes.
It's just the way it is, right? That's the thing. Payouts is where it's at. I don't care if you're looking at impressions. I don't care if you're looking at views. None of the other stuff matter to me. How do your payouts look? Now, I got to say our payouts have been really good. It could be better if it wasn't for a lot of the returns that we've had. Had a lot of returns over the last month. I'm thinking probably we paid out like $1,500 to $2,000 in returns just within the last month. It's nuts. And it's not like we're dealing with a lot of returns, but they're good dollar value. Like on average, you're like $125. Chastity says, hey, y'all, not late to the show, just late to say hi. Hope everyone has had a great week.
Hello,
thank you for
Chastity.
being here. Yeah, nice to see you. Shannon says, Silver Hair Stacker, I contribute only one item, but it put my bank account in the negative. I shouldn't be allowed to have a bank account.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Oh, you shut your mouth.
Gail's with us, says, hello, John and Jenna. I made it. Well,
Hello,
you know what?
Gail.
You made it. Thanks for being here. I got to get that thing on my stream deck at some point. Duncan says, hit the like and Jenna will cook you a burger. Will you cook me a burger if I hit the like button? I don't know. She will. We're gonna make wood-fired pizza tonight on the grill. I have a wood-fire pizza oven. I'm gonna fire up. Turkey Creek Jack Johnson. My wife's boyfriend sells on eBay. That's awesome. Well, tell him I said hi.
Wow.
When you guys sit down and like discuss notes and all that, tell him I said hi.
Oh.
Basket Noodle says, 'twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring except John's mouse. What in the world? Is this getting off the rails already at 4:20? Jamie B. Reseller. Yes.
Canada.
Thanks for being here. Or is that
Hello?
California?
No, it's Canada.
How do you know?
Because they only put those little things in other countries.
Jamie, we didn't know. Is it California or Canada?
It's Canada.
Jake, Scan to Freedom. Good evening, folks. Nice to see you, buddy.
Well, hello there.
our-
How are the Willows doing?
Our favorite slumlord is here. It's a running joke. He knows. Every time, well, when Beard was doing his show, it seemed like every time he was on the show, he was like fixing up one of his houses or apartments. Willow Boy is here. Yes. Shannon says, dang, FAE helped me on my whatnot 10 shows and have near none that well. Congrats. We had it was weird. We had about 20 something people. And then those 20 something went over to Mike's. He actually had like 26. And then I think 19 went over to Archie's. I think they were running out of cash. Basket Noodle says, stockings were hung with truly great care as Jenna yelled out, get your ass off there. I think we're a little early for I think November 1st is the official day for like Christmas music.
Christmas is starting.
I know. It's like the official day.
In this house.
I mean, it's okay now to play Christmas music, I guess. I can accept it. But yeah. And I'm just, I don't know. Am I in the Christmas spirit this year? Is this a year for Christmas spirit? I haven't been in the Christmas spirit the last couple of years.
The Christmas spirit for years.
What
are you doing?
I'm trying to get this contest thing going up here, the giveaway tool, because we're going to be giving away that shirt here in a few minutes. Silver Hair says, Mike Caparelli drew my hand on the whatnot box he sent me. LOL.
Nuh-uh.
Or are you making that up?
No, I bet he did.
Duncan says, shitter seat giveaway? No, we're not.
No.
I'm an hour behind. Goodness gracious. But
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I gotta live up to what Beard expects me to be. But we're gonna give that away in about 15 minutes. I gotta do my best to get this caught up. Shannon says, oh my gosh, I'm here and there's a givey plus the wonderful membership gifted by Mike C. Wow, what an awesome week.
I know, right?
Josh Galt says selling police badges on eBay is the gateway to the penalty box.
Oh yeah.
You think?
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna start to agree.
Really?
It's probably a bad idea.
Well, I
the reason why I say I agree is because people doing nefarious things can buy those.
Go right here. Like you're under arrest?
Well, it's kind of like the Halloween outfits that you can't buy from FedEx, USPS, and
Capitol Police.
You're not listening to a
I'm hearing you. I'm pulling a primo.
Okay.
Like what you said, I don't do this, but Indian Shores Police. If you're in Ellington, Connecticut, Fortuna, I think that's California. Glen Ellen Police. That's kind of cheesy. I don't know. Eugene Police. I think that's probably Oregon, but there's other Eugenes. Glen Ellen, I can evict you if I put the right outfit on. Police in Glen Ellen. Where's Glen Ellen? Is that Illinois? And of course, Schaumburg.
That's probably the coolest one.
I don't know. Well, I'm kind of disappointed. I was looking forward to listing those, but Basket Noodles, you can sell Flip It Ain't Easy shirts at the terminology is fitting to almost all aspects of American life today. Yes, you could become a multiple thousandaire. Yeah, I'm already there. Shannon says, I have FA shirt and bumper sticker in the cart waiting for money to buy.
Oh my god.
You know what? I kind of feel bad because, see, look, I can't even get a deal.
No, we get no deals on our products. So like I said on the Whatnot show, I really want to make.
Why don't you make some shirts and merch and put it up on the store, and we'll put a link to those listings at a much, much cheaper price so that we can at least, get our investment back and, eBay fees and all that stuff.
Because it's honestly, they're overcharging, way overcharging.
Yeah, that's why you don't see me wear a lot of it. It's not like I don't support my own brand. It's just like, man, I feel you guys, right? We don't make a whole lot off of it anyway. So
no, and that's not the point.
That's not the point, but it seems like you guys aren't willing to pay, and I understand that to get a shirt, and I don't want that. I'd rather be something that's affordable for you guys to be able to pick up. Yes,
exactly. Like I mean, I would buy way more items if the price wasn't so outrageous. I mean, it's a t-shirt with a vinyl on it. It shouldn't be that expensive.
Shannon says, for eBay store subscription, I signed up for a yearly to save money and saw today it charges me monthly. Am I still getting the savings? Yes, you're getting it broken down on a monthly basis, but you've agreed to have the store for the year. So if you decide to cancel your store, you still have to pay all those months up for the rest of the year. And this is kind of interesting. Okay. Yeah, I thought someone was actually somehow putting a comment in the show, but it's not possible to do. You have to put it in chat. Ping G says, with a yearly subscription, you're charged monthly at a discounted rate. Yep. Glenn says, 17 years on eBay, never left a negative or neutral, just leave nothing, but for sure, there's a few items I could have. Yeah, and it's disappointing, right? But I think we give other sellers more leeway because we know what it's like to get that negative. It's very, very disappointing. Shannon says, sorry for Jenna for previously spamming your messages last week on Whatnot. Didn't know how else to communicate with you. My Instagram has been down for a month. I usually use Facebook Messenger.
Oh, okay. So truth be told, I don't use Whatnot for anything other than when we do a show, and occasionally I will buy on Whatnot. But I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure I can figure it out. I don't use the messages on Whatnot very often. I do remember we communicated a little bit on a Whatnot, but in order to get a hold of me, you can just send an email to the Flippin' Ain't Easy email, or I know you said your Instagram is down. I don't use Facebook very often. I only go on there to check on my family, to be honest.
So Josh Galt says, for me, there are only so many hours in the day. I like the style of PPP where we have interesting conversations with others. I don't enjoy talking at people on a type screen as much. I hear you. There's no feedback, instant feedback when you're sitting in front of a camera, right? It's almost like talking to yourself in the mirror. The doxing and craziness doesn't bother me as much anymore. Jamie B. Reseller. Hi, Josh. Nice to see you. Mad Hatter's Boutique. Brett says, baby is doing well. 7 weeks old already. Time flies. Bo Nix, number 31 quarterback in fantasy, and fall is almost here in SoCal. Life is good.
Nice.
Awesome to see you, buddy.
Yes. Thank you for sending the picture of the baby to John. It just it fills that baby void that I don't get on a regular basis. So that was so sweet.
Josh says, I love the interview style. It's a pile of fun and the guests bring in fresh perspective. I feel like I've mostly said everything I have to say about eBay. Yeah. And
I don't blame you.
And Josh says, hi, Jamie. I don't know if you're talking about Jamie.
No, Jamie in the chat that just said hi to him.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That is like being facetious about Jamie Iannone being here. Mm-hmm. Carla Gracia says, I can't remember the last time I went to the movies. Not worth it for me anymore. Most movies nowadays are not good at all. No,
that is very true. Yeah. The last, we've been trying to go to the movies for like the last 2-3 weeks, and there's nothing good out. Nothing.
John Worldwide Weber says, as we get older, time becomes the most valuable thing you have, and I appreciate you making this channel as enjoyable to watch and interact with it as it is. Well, that's awesome.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Alan Thompson's with us. Did you finish your popcorn before you left? We didn't have popcorn.
We didn't eat popcorn.
We had a dinner, and then we each had a slushie. We had like a little one of those ices, right?
Yeah.
And I think once I was done, I was kind of done. I'm like, okay, I can only see, because this, without ruining a bad movie. I mean, how can you ruin a bad movie? It's the same view. The camera doesn't
The camera
move.
never moves.
It's like, okay, this is stupid.
It's really
Mad Hatter's Boutique. I saw a trailer for that Tom Hanks movie, and it looked terrible.
It is terrible.
The CGI is cool. They make him look young, and they do a good job of that. But it's
terrible.
like, yeah, it's like, okay. Earl Parker says, yeah, cha-ching. That's awesome.
Nice.
Praise and Profit says, arguing ain't easy.
No, it's not. Especially with this guy.
Yeah. Brenda Smith, I use a small flat rate priority flatware because I can get a lot in the box. Beard says, box abuse, incoming negative feedback for the shipping department. Jeremy 96, side with her, LOL. Really? Beard King Picker says, hello. Thanks for being here. We have Johnny Lucas says, USPS is looking at my shipping. I mean, they could. I've had, I did the box in a bag years ago, and I did it as cubic, and they were not happy. One post office wasn't happy with me.
They can all go.
Andre Squaw says, John's correct on that one. Against the law. Don't do it. I need the boxes for posh sales and don't want them to stop providing them. I 100% agree. Susan Phelps, I got USPS box and used the poly mailer and put it in there. No problem. Worked for me. The Crazy Card says, what do you mean? Is it USPS government ran? I thought they were super efficient at everything. Not really. They're super efficient at taking our money. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Shannon says, I just take my daughter around. She's 11, close to being over Halloween, but I dressed up too. Handmaid's Tale. I look just like June, aka Offered. I don't know the Handmaid's Tale. I know that's the movie, but not sure about it. Jovial says, I'm sure the box Jenna used was an old damaged box that was unable to be used otherwise.
That's exactly right, Rhonda.
It was old and damaged after she damaged it.
Thank you for having my back.
She damaged it with the box cutter. Ecom says, hey, from Australia. Hope you guys.
You with a box cutter.
Well, it's an improvement. Hope you guys are well. Regarding returns, if the seller lists an item as no returns and buyer requests return, is it best to accept, or is there protection if buyer leaves a negative? So according to the example, if you have no returns and the buyer, they'll request a return. This is the mistake that I think that eBay makes. They give the buyer a chance. There's a button for returns when there's no returns. So now it gives the buyer false hope that they might be able to return this thing. And now it goes to you. You reject the return request because you have no returns, because they were honest and said it didn't fit or something. Now you say no. The buyer's now pissed off. They leave a negative feedback according to what eBay said here in their own policy, that they will cover you. So now you need to point to that policy, maybe in your request to have it removed, per your own policy, and maybe go in quotes, quote the policy, you will remove this feedback. But I want to say that if you have no returns, a savvy buyer can get around that by just saying it's an INAD or not as described or arrived damaged or whatever. And you're on the hook no matter what to accept the return. Johnny Lukacs says, wearing a Rams hat helps me list better. Just teasing you, Dodgers and Rams fan here in SoCal.
Oh, no.
There you go. You know what? I'm glad the baseball season's over. It's been a very painful year for us Angel fans here, especially
it's been a couple of years being painful.
Watching our star player leave, and our star player then goes on to win the World Series. It's like, okay, it's like someone put an analogy saying it's like you have an ex that moved on and lived her best life without you, kind of thing. And it's like it's kind of like that. But I guess that's what the analogy was. I don't really ever see that. Samantha says, John and Jenna, my question is, I'm having a problem with pricing during this holiday season. Buyers are looking for too low a bargain, and my comps are not pairing up. What should I consider for pricing an item? So if you're pricing for this holiday season, buyers looking for too low a bargain, that's just it. The market's changed. So you might have bought your item thinking, oh, look, this thing sold for $75 consistently. I should be able to get $75 for it. Now buyers are trying to get it for $50. And now you look at the sold comps and it's $50. Well, your market's gone down and you're probably only going to be able to get $50. So it's adapting to the markets, right? So sometimes you can buy thinking, oh, this thing looks like it's going to sell for $30. And then you go on, let's say finally get to it like 3 weeks later to list, and you see the sold comps recently sold for more. Well, you can take advantage of that and sell the item for more. And I think that part of our problems as resellers is we get stuck on the idea that this item showed in the comps. It showed me that I can get 75 for it, and you're unwilling to take 50 when that comes up. And so the idea that, we had this discussion with Commonwealth Picker, he doesn't consider, and I don't want to, I'm not, the way he does it is the way he does it. It works for him. But he said he doesn't consider what he's into the item for. For me, I'm just trying to churn. I look at these things as widgets. So I don't have a sentiment. There's no sentimental value to any of these things to me. So I look at, well, what am I into this for? So maybe I'm into it for $5. I was hoping to get 75, but I have a chance to get 50. Okay. So maybe I'll have different expectations, but next time for the same item, but I'm going to sell it and I might buy it again thinking that maximum 75. You got to kind of have a range in your mind. It's sort of like if someone makes you an offer, what's the lowest you're willing to accept? And I think you got to do that when you're buying. Know that it's been selling for 75, but how much are you into the item for that? And what's the lowest you're going to be able to take when the offer comes up? Johnny Luca says, I got a negative feedback without a message to tell me.
It's a neutral.
A neutral, okay. I didn't even get a chance to do anything. Was it wrong not to leave a feedback for them being a buyer? No, I would say, look, they're allowed to send whatever they want. I think that it might be best to reach out to them and just say, hey, I'm sorry you left a neutral. We do offer returns if you're not happy, but would you please consider revising the feedback? Because we really, because you should be focused on trying to maintain as high a feedback level as you can, but don't let it ruin your day when you get one. Joey says, gotta love the adult with that pillowcase that says the candy is for their sick child at home. I got 2 cans of green beans and put that in the pillowcase for the kid. That should weight her down a bit. That's not right. Susan says, I had a buyer who got the item I shipped damaged, went straight to negative feedback. Refund was an issue, but she refused to revise and eBay as well. Return policy not followed for her return. Yeah, but use that, didn't use the returns properly. Maya wants to know, I wonder if they're going to go back to letting eBay for Business on Facebook deal with negative feedback. They have always been great for me. Had to message them multiple times recently about item not received. I thought eBay for Business on Facebook was dissolved. I don't think they have them anymore. Did they bring them back? Andy Reno says, so I took that particular FedEx label to my drop-off point, which is Dollar General, and they scanned the USPS section of the label, and I told her it was for FedEx, and she said, we scan USPS part, and FedEx scans their part. Yeah, that's the Smart Post, I believe, where they involve USPS. I don't use that level. That's FedEx ground economy shipping. Glenn says, hey, Jenna, finally getting cool in Vegas?
Yes, finally. It's sweater weather.
Yeah. I'm skipping a little bit because I'm trying to play catch up here.
Yeah, because you're so
I'm way behind. Copper Cat says, hello all, getting here late. We'll go back and watch as Scott's live chat is over. As soon as, I don't know if he's doing a show. He hasn't said if he's doing a show.
He hasn't flipped his coin yet.
But flip your coin so I can let everyone know. Paul Rose is here. Glad to hear it wasn't just me who got no knocks on Halloween. Was beginning to think it was my deodorant. Swamp Picker's with us. Thanks for being here, Swamp Picker.
Swamp Picker.
Yeah, just heard. Congrats on 25K. Well deserved. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Baskin Noodle says, if I lowered my prices significantly, I'd sell more, but okay, the way it goes. I figure if we go through a time warp back 20 years, all this computer stuff will be mainstream again. Yeah, that's for sure. Nick Rinaldi says, after careful review, we've determined Silver Hair Stacker did not violate our terms of service on YouTube feedback. Remediation. I have just dipped my foot into a rabbit hole and need to know what is happening. I was researching prices on an item in the recently sold and noticed one sold way above market. We know a plethora of reasons why that could be, but about 30 minutes later, I'm researching another item and I see the same thing and notice it's the same seller. Go into the store and I look at their feedback, and it's an endless sea of long, detailed, positive reviews, and that they're all word for word identical and by different buyers, and the size of the store is massive. That's weird. So I just do a quick Google search and it turns out to be a #1 store on the site. There's so many extremely overpriced sold listings that can't be real, plus the endless scrolling of 100% identical feedback as long as a comment, all different buyers. What the heck is that about? Love to know the store name.
Yeah.
That would be a good discussion for the members show on Wednesday. Hard to say. Look, a large entity like that, maybe they have internal accounts that are buying these things, right? Setting the market. It's really hard to, or at least trying to influence the market. It's really hard to say what that could be about. I hate to report listings, but if you see like there's something fishy about it.
Yeah, that sounds fishy. Mike's seller said that he would be the guinea pig.
Okay.
For Wednesday.
All right, awesome. So
I don't know if where the comment is.
I don't know, but
I saw it earlier.
Okay. Ryan Labs, the seller blaming USPS on the poor packaging, and for me, for the metal chips. I unboxed a video due to a condition when registration failed. Seller said sold for another person. Well, that's a one-off, I guess. But
hi, Jen.
Where? JR Care? JR Care. Nice to see you. Baskin Noodles, I have my biz policy set 3 working days. I find anything over that, I get to have you ship my scrawny chicken yet. Glenn says the lighthouse shine on me this week. Best week in a couple months. Just keep pushing and grinding out there. Yeah, I agree with that statement. We've got Bob Ralk. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. We will give it away, give it away, give it away soon. I just want to kind of get caught up. I'm getting caught up. I'm cheating a little bit.
You're cheating a lot of it.
A lot of it. Chai Charon says Glen Ellen, Illinois. Wow.
Yeah.
Pitco says John, don't list police badges.
Yeah.
It's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
But I was happy to help Pete out anyway.
Yeah.
Richard Vaughn,
really cool.
Some sellers deserve negatives. I agree. Some sellers deserve not to be selling.
Yeah.
Larry, way out. Hi, John and Jenna. John, great to hang out with you and Archie and Mike. Jenna, see you in March. Yeah, we had a nice dinner. We hung out and talked and talked and talked. So we had a good time. I'm glad we were able to do that. Nothing worse than going to a dinner where you're like, is this over yet? Because no one's saying anything. But we were not short of conversation. I'll put it that way. Drummer, what Jenna said, they can all go. F. Baskin dressed up as a Jewish eBay seller for Halloween and got nothing but rocks. What's up with that? It's what nut and Yahoo guy. It's that nut and Yahoo guy. I'm not familiar. But okay. John Doe says, I didn't even know the World Series was going on. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm glad it's over with. King of Kings, sellers selling booting versions of what? You're selling toys and luxury items. For instance, it's also a real issue. Have to explain what's going on to customers when they try to compare. My only thought is that the bootleg version should diminish a little bit now that the e-pack is going. I don't know what date that is, but e-pack for the Chinese drop shippers is more than likely going to go away because that's going to be too expensive for them to ship to the U.S. and undercut your prices on the actual authentic stuff. DM Ephemera, my ex gained 150 pounds and has green rotten teeth. Guess I won't win that.
You won in the long run.
Yes.
Ew,
Consignment wares says yet a buyer can buy something and 18 days later send a picture of an item they claimed was chipped, but it's not the item they were sold. eBay does nothing if when the photos showed they lied. Yep. They don't care if you can prove. through video. Maybe you're videoing that you just opened the return to show that, you didn't swap it out yourself. And they don't care. They don't care about all that. And you just have to, and I hate to say this because people hate me saying it, but it's the cost of doing business. And you just know that you can deduct up to 50% and your losses can be reabsorbed when you're doing your taxes and all that stuff. Maya says they still have eBay for Business on Facebook. I just messaged them 2 days ago, closed an INR on my favorite. I heard that they shut down, so that's good to know if they returned. Casey, New York, eBay for Business peeps can be messaged through the regular eBay Facebook page now. Okay, that's good to know. Maya says, true, I don't think it's called eBay for Business anymore, just eBay, but that's what it was referring to. Sorry. Oh. So at least you get a hold of them still.
Yeah.
John, Rad Relics. I'm late. What was the feedback policy they updated? LOL. It's they're now enforcing what they said they were going to enforce back early in the year, where they're going to start removing, and they give a list of different reasons what they will use to that you can point to have them removed. So again, when you're asking for a removal on feedback, negative or neutral, always point to their own policy. That's the way to make that work.
Drummer says it's called eBay for eBay policy.
eBay for eBay policy, yeah. And then Swamp Picker is with us. Nice to see you, Swamp Picker.
Swamp Picker saying hi to
oh, well,
John.
Nice to see him. Well, say hi, John. There's always multiple Johns in the chat. So what I want to do is, if I can get to this giveaway tool, if I can get to this thing here. What's it at here? Okay, here it is, the giveaway page. Don't know why they just didn't take me there to begin with. So we're going to give away. I want you guys to do hashtag Craigslist Hunter, 2 words, and I'm going to show you guys in the chat here. Hashtag has to have a hashtag in front of it, but just as I put it, hashtag Craigslist Hunter. We'll give you a few minutes to type that in, because it was.
Maya wants to know, where did you find the link for the new policy?
I can put that in here as well. There's two links that I can give you. I'll just give you this link, and then you can go in and follow. I think it's going to take you somewhere, but there it is, Maya. eBay Claims Seller Center resources. And so you can go there and it'll give you the feedback policy. So we'll wait a few minutes. Let's see. We have a lot of folks that haven't commented. Axe Monkey's with us. We have DR.
Make sure you're
SCG Collectibles.
Make sure that you're putting a space in between Craigslist Hunter.
Yeah.
Or Craigslist.
So Jackie, go back in and do yours again. Craigslist. Space
and
Hunter. Drummer, go back in and put your
do a space in between Craigslist.
Eden McCorkle, if you can go back and do yours as well, make sure you have Craigslist Hunter as 2 different words.
Yeah.
Craigslist
Hunter.
Baskin Noodle says counterfeit is going to be the catalyst to screw everyone over in open marketplaces online. It really is a damn mess. Let's hope though that, I think a lot of the counterfeiting is coming from overseas because the products are cheaply made. And I think with this e-packet, I think also with the changes they made early in the year to require these overseas sellers who are selling on eBay.com, with the item not received requests and stuff being looked at. Let's hope that is going to curb a lot of it. Let's see who else is doing this here. We have Reform AOG Newly, Big Dre.
Big Dre, did you see that you got a gifted membership?
Yeah, and then 3 Picky Peas, Ghost Picker. What? 3 Picky Peas, Ghost Picker. Let's see. I'm gonna give it another 2 minutes, and then we'll draw. Hey Beard, if you're watching, Bearded Picker, are you doing your live or not?
He doesn't want to answer.
Maybe I'll ask him here via text, just in case he decided to tune away, because I want to know, for everyone's sake, if Scott, are you going live? If I had to bet, I'd probably say no. He's was talking about giving YouTube a break for a little while, being busy and all that too. Basket Noodle says counterfeits going on long before indie seller imports. Before then, U.S. sellers buy the stuff and peddle it. Supply and demand. Yeah, demand. Mm-hmm. Give it one more minute, guys. Again, hashtag Craigslist Hunter. So Scott said to me that maybe at 7:30, that's Central Time. So in the next 45 minutes. So if you guys are working, a lot of you guys are working this evening and want some live talk, go check out Bearded Picker's channel. I'm going to finish watching the YouTube video first. So I don't know what video he's watching, but go check out his channel. Basket Noodle says Mexico and Canada both used to be hubs to move counterfeits into the U.S. markets before the Chinese post. Well, let's hope that they have a way to crack down on it without hurting the average seller. Jovial says you know not to hit the like, you know not to win the t-shirt. Yes, good point. Hit the like button, guys, if you're entered into the drawing to get your sale and so you can get this cool t-shirt. I really like it. And I like the material a lot.
Oh my God, it's so comfortable.
Love this. It's a Toltex 290 medium.
I'm going to look up that brand when I buy a shirt.
All right. So let's go ahead and start. Let's give away this thing here.
All right, let's do it.
Let's get to the screen though first.
Let's do it. Unfortunately, fortunately, it is a size medium.
Yes, it's a size medium. So, it's a good keepsake or maybe someone you know. We have 36 entries and we are going to draw it. So good luck, everyone.
Dun, dun.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Rad Relics.
John.
All right, John. Good
Woo!
job. So do me a favor, John. We've talked before. Send me an email with your information and we'll get this bad boy sent out to you. So very cool. And thank you. I want to say thank you to Pete, Craigslist Hunter, for being kind enough to send this to us. And of course, we always try to share the things that we get with you guys. Yeah. So Rad Relics, you won.
Congratulations.
And just so you have it, flipping ain't easy 2020@gmail.com. And that's the email address. And I'll be glad to get this out to you as soon as Monday.
No, I will be glad to get it out to you.
She will be glad. So
on Monday.
Yeah. So Shannon says, congrats, very fun. Should do some FAE merch giveaways. We will do some once we get some made.
I'm gonna make some. So that's a project I'll work on.
So guys, and I have to do this. We're gonna sign off here in a second, and we always sign off with our thanks to the members. I haven't updated that. I have to get this weekend. I'll update the list of members on that little thank you page. But I want to thank each and every one of you guys. Thank you for the memberships that you guys have given out, Keith and Archie. Thank you for doing that. And just look out for Wednesday, and I might make a video for tomorrow as well. But for everyone, but for the members, be sure that you're here. We're going to have it at the same time, 3 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday for the members only live. And I believe Mike Gertis is going to volunteer his store. We can kind of get in there and help him out with maybe a tweaker here, tweaker here or there. So
a tweaker?
A tweaker. We're going to send him a tweaker for his participation. So I want to thank you guys for being here. And, when it comes into negative and neutral feedback, it's not that big of a deal. It's not worth losing sleep over. I've seen good stores actually with like 96% feedback. They're killing it on eBay. But I think at the end of the day, there's something to having good feedback because we want more sales. And I think sometimes there's buyers who will just walk away when they see negative feedback. But figuring these new implementations that eBay puts into place when they finally decide to follow their own announcements is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your, excellent weekend. And go check out Beard's show here in the next half an hour, 45 minutes. And we will talk to you guys very soon. Take care, everyone.